Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video is going to be my February wrap up. So I'm not sure how many books I actually read in February. I haven't counted, but I will most likely put in the title like I normally do. But I feel like I had an okay reading month. I feel like I had another good reading month. There's obviously a few books that I went big on. Oh, I think I've had one 5-star read, if I remember correctly. But otherwise, yeah. So let's just get right into the video. So the first book is The Long Game by Elena Armas. So this book, I rated 2.753 stars. I don't know what it was about this book. I just feel like compared to like The Special of Deception and the American Roommate Experiment, I did like this. It just took me a little bit longer to read than I would have liked. It was definitely like a cozy, fun read, and I think the issue with this was I didn't really feel a connection between the characters. But the children in this were so cute, and obviously like all the animals I absolutely loved. It was just I didn't really feel like the chemistry between the characters. I didn't really feel anything, and obviously if I'm reading a romance, that is what I want to feel. I want to feel the chemistry. I want to feel like they belong together. But I just didn't with this. I felt like they were good friends, and that was about it. I think that is what threw me off a little bit, but otherwise it was okay. Then I read Maybe Someday, and I think I rated this 3 stars. I just want to double 3.5 stars. This one was actually not what I was expecting at all, but I'll definitely say it was an okay read. Obviously I didn't love it, but if I remember correctly, I read this in one sitting. It's definitely a very fast-paced read. Definitely not one of my favourites from Colleen Hoover, but obviously like I said, I didn't hate it and I also didn't love it. It was an okay average read. It's good enough for me to possibly have read it in one sitting, but I remember reading it quite quickly. So this is about Sydney, and she's a college student and she's dating this guy. Finds out that her boyfriend Hunter is cheating on her, and so then she's obviously forced to move out, and that is also when she meets Ridge, who is her neighbour, and they meet because he plays the guitar and sings on, I think it was the balcony, and they kind of like become friends and stuff. Like I said, it was definitely a interesting read, and I would recommend it even though it was only a 3.5 star read for me. And obviously along with that I read Maybe Not, which is a small novella which is kind of connected to well, it is connected to this, but this is Bridget's and Warren's story. So that is, Warren is Ridge's friend and roommate, and then Bridget is also one of the roommates, so you see like their romance, and I would definitely say this was very interesting. I think I rated this one higher. I can't remember. I'm having to quickly scroll because I haven't completed my reading journal. Oh, okay, I rated this 3 stars because obviously it was a novella, but it was definitely enjoyable, and I loved seeing the extra content for Warren and Bridget's story. And then following up, I read Maybe Now, and this is a continuation. I would definitely say this one I rated 3 stars as well. I still enjoyed it like the first one, but this one is more drama, if you know what I mean, because I don't know how to say this without ruining the first one, so I'm not going to say too much about it just in case I spoil things, and obviously I don't want to do that. But also one I would recommend, like, give the whole series a go, because this one I'd definitely say it's very important and it shows like relationship growth. Don't read this if you don't like the cheating trope. That's what I'm going to leave it as. Okay, and then I read all the books from The Improbable Meet Cute. So it was Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez, The Expectation to the Rule by Christina Lauren, Rosie and the Dreamboat by Sally Thorne, Drop Cover and Hold On by Jasmine Guillory, I think that's how you say it, Royal Valentine by Sierra Wilson, and then With Any Luck by Ashley Poston. Worst Wingman Ever I rated 2 stars, The Expectation to the Rule 3 stars, Rosie and the Dreamboat 2 stars, Drop Cover and Hold On 1 star, Royal Valentine 1 star, and then With Any Luck 1 star. Now I think with those 1 stars there's like 1.25. I think I actually rated any of them 1 star. No, so the 1 stars are the 1.25 and 1.5. My favourite was The Expectation to the Rule by Christina Lauren. I just found they were like fun, quick read. They're like less than 100 pages. I think they're roughly about 60 pages each. I know it's less than 100 pages, so if you want quick reads, this would be great. And I think this was for like Valentine's Day, but you can still read them without it being Valentine's Day. They're just short, fun reads, and I would definitely recommend it if you want to get your reading goal up a bit higher. these. Then I read Lessons in Chemistry. So I'm not going to go too much into this because I'm pretty sure I read this for a reading vlog. Actually, that reading vlog's not out yet. But you will see my thoughts in a reading vlog, and obviously I don't want to ruin that reading vlog that will hopefully be coming soon. So I rated this 4 stars. I would definitely say this is like an important read, and the writing style was amazing. But that's all I'm going to say, because obviously, like I said, I don't want to ruin it too much because my thoughts are in a reading vlog. Then Vanessa from Read With Dr. B, Brie from The Booktuber, and then Nikki from Hello Nikki Novels. They all did like a smutty novella weekend, and let me just say that was really fun. So I read some novellas and it was interesting, let me just tell you. First one was Shadow Puppet, which is like a scarecrow kind of thing. I rated it 1 star. This was very, how can I put this, interesting? I don't know. It was, I hated it. I'm just going to put it out there. This just wasn't for me, personally, and that's okay. It was very strange, and I think this is the one that where, yeah, you could definitely tell it was written by a male with how some scenes are written, and that's what I'm going to say. And there's just some weird stuff in there. Now that is all I'm going to say. And then I read Big Boss by Cassie Mint, which I rated 2 stars. This is a age gap, best friend's dad. It's a fun, quick read, and I didn't hate it, I didn't love it. It was okay. I like age gap, so it's alright. I like best friend's dad, you know, so it has the tropes I like, and I feel like that's why I didn't hate it. But obviously, it was average. Then I read Fight Dirty by Cassie Min. I rated this 1 star. I actually don't remember much about it, if I'm being completely honest. Like, if you asked me what this book was about, I couldn't remember. Then I read The Stranger in C8B by Nikki Castle. This book I rated 2 stars. This was actually good. For a novella, you get a lot of information. You get a lot of like kind of background. I enjoyed it because in novellas most of the time you don't get that. Obviously, because it's a novella, it felt quite rushed, but that is expected from a novella. 2 stars, it was okay. Then I read Squeak by Vera Valentine. And I'm going to be honest, why did I do this to myself? I don't know. It was definitely a 1 star. This was just so weird to me. And I'm going to say, I feel like I regret reading this. Although I can't really say anything because I read the Door romance one and I can't remember what I rated it. But that was interesting. But this one was just weird. But I'm going to move on from that. Then I read The Lawyer by Marnie Mann, and I rated this 4 stars. It was actually enjoyable. I enjoyed my time reading it, and it's very fast. I think it's like 200 something pages, so if you're looking for a quick read, this is definitely for you. If you're looking for like a lawyer, I think he was a billionaire romance, then this is also for you. Oh, it's 330 pages. But I would definitely say that if you are looking for like kind of like a slow burn, this isn't for you. It's quite like rushed into the romance part of it, but there's some things that happen further along that it all kind of makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. Then I read Crimson River by Devney Perry. This book I rated 4.25 stars. This was definitely different from the other books in the series. I still really enjoyed it. Again, it's a fast read. Definitely not my favourite out of like the other books. I would definitely say it was still enjoyable. It was fast read, and there's like quite a, I want to say big plot twist. I read By the Book by Jasmine Guillory as well, and this book I rated 2 stars. I don't know how to feel about this still. It is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I feel like the writing style and the storyline and everything just wasn't for me personally. I think, if I remember correctly, I'll go into it more in a reading vlog, so if you want to see my thoughts while reading it, and then you can go and check that out. And then I think in that same reading vlog I'll read Love in the Time of Serial Killers, and I don't actually remember much about this book, if I'm being completely honest, but I remember rating it 2 stars. I honestly had higher hopes for this book, but I just remember being a little bit disappointed from it. But I feel like I hyped it up too much in my head because I heard like great reviews about it, but when I looked on Goodreads there wasn't that many good reviews about it, so I'm confused. Then I read Come With Me by Brooke Montgomery. This is a short novella. This is actually the prequel to Here With Me by Brooke Montgomery, which you probably heard me talking about on my channel a couple of times. But this book I rated 4 stars. It was very interesting seeing Aidan's and Lainey's story. I actually really enjoyed this. You see like a glimpse of them in Here With Me, and it was nice getting their story and their background, and it's very enjoyable, and I would recommend if you're looking for a quick fun, small town read because it was very enjoyable. And I read Talking as Fast as I Can and Have I Told You This Already by Lauren Graham. I obviously didn't rate these because they're memoirs, but I found these really interesting to read considering I'm a big fan of Gilmore Girls. Great show, love it. Currently rewatching it. So it was just fun to, you know some background in her life and also behind the scenes of Gilmore Girls. Okay, then I read The Billionaire by Marnie Mann, and this one I rated 3 stars. I still enjoyed this one, but less than The Lawyer. I feel like there was parts of this one that dragged on a little bit too much for my liking, considering it's only 353 pages. But I would have to say this is still really enjoyable. And again, this one is quite rushed into things. It's also always explained at some point in the book. And I read A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. I rated this 1.5 stars. This one, I'm not shocked that it wasn't for me. The storyline personally wasn't for me. The writing style wasn't for me, in the sense of it takes a lot of brain power, and I just personally don't like that in my books. I like fun, fast-paced, easy to read kind of books where it doesn't really take much effort to read. But with this one, you really have to pay attention to the world and what's happening. And I don't know, I feel like maybe if I was in more of a thinky mood, maybe I would have enjoyed this a little bit more. But I really don't like books that you really have to think about and concentrate on and just uses a lot of energy, because like I said, I just like easy, fun books that doesn't take much brain power and you could just easily peacefully read. But I don't know, maybe I'll try it again in the future, maybe not. But again, storyline just personally wasn't for me. Will I read the second book? Most likely not. I don't know, I might change my mind one day, but I don't see myself reading it, and I don't want to force myself to read books that I don't really want to or that I'm not interested in. Then I read small novella Christmas Present by Tara Dewitt, I think that's how you say it. I rated this 2 stars. There's a couple of different stories in this, short stories. It's 41 pages, so you get loads of different sides. What I actually found out is Tara Dewitt's full book, so Funny Feelings, The Co-op, and there's another one. But those 3 books, you see extras of those characters from those books. I didn't know that. I realised it from Funny Feelings because I've read that book, but I didn't realise from the others because I haven't read them yet. But I enjoyed the Funny Feelings one more because I knew the characters kind of, and I could I knew them. I knew their story. But otherwise, I did enjoy it. It was very fast. Obviously 41 pages. Quick, nice novella. I reread Flawless, and this is obviously still at 4.75 stars. I buddy read this with Vanessa from Read with Dr. B, and let me just tell you, it was a fun reread because I tabbed it all. There's a lot of tabs, and I am excited to get back reread Heartless. So I want to try and see if I can find quotes. It's her father, and he says, "And you're going to have to spill the beans of why Rhett Eaton is acting like a fire-breathing dragon around you. But for now, just lie here with your old man for a minute, for old time's sakes." How cute. I just love how close she is with her father as well, considering. And then following along with that is her father messages Rhett. He goes, "I hope you're not dead, but only because my daughter is distraught over you right now. And if you're dead, I can't kick you for hurting her." Okay. But yeah, there's just so... I'm going to stop there. But there's just so many fun, cute, and, quotes in this book. And I really enjoyed my reread with this. I feel like it was just something I needed, and like I said, I can't wait to reread Heartless because that is one of my favourites, except for Powerless. So yeah, 8 Perfect Hours by Leah Lewis. I rated this 2 stars. I don't know what it was about this. I don't really remember much about it, but I read it quite quickly, so maybe that's the reason. I didn't realise this was a Christmas book, which isn't surprising because the UK cover looks like this, but I still read it. I'm reading Christmas books right now. I'm reading a Christmas book right now because I'm trying to catch up with them. But anyway, so yeah, it was a 2-star read for me. Like I said, I don't really remember much about it. I just remember the writing style personally wasn't for me, and the storyline just wasn't really for me. But otherwise, it was okay. Then I finally read Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and I'm not going to go too much into this because I have a reading vlog coming very soon for it, but I rated it as 2.5 stars, and I will go into more depth in my reading vlog. But all I'm going to say is this was definitely a disappointing read for me, because most people rated it 5 stars and obviously I didn't. And me putting it on Goodreads, I was so scared in case I got some bad reactions from it, but lucky enough, touch wood, I haven't yet. But I don't know, this was a disappointing read for me, but like I said, I'll go into more depth in a reading vlog. I obviously don't want to ruin that. And finally, I'm so happy that I read this. I can't believe I put it off for so long. I can't believe it, but I finally read A Court of Mist and Fury. I finally read it. I finished it yesterday and it's a 5-star read. I absolutely love this book. Who told me? Like, why was I ever on Team Tamlin from the beginning? Like, no thank you. Team Rhysand. The humour, I just absolutely love. The way he treats Beren, I love. Tamlin, on the other hand, ill. And that's what I'm going to say. But I do have a reading vlog that I'm working on slowly. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. And I'm so excited for you to see my thoughts about this. I just absolutely love this book. Like, this was the only 5-star read, and it was right at the end of the month, but I love this book so much and I could talk about it all day. And I'm so sad that I just kept putting it off, and it was because of the size, but I read it so fast, and that's the thing. But yeah, absolutely love this book. So those are all the books that I read in February. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye.